Okay. Okay. Uh, Good morning. Today is day 7 of videos to improve camera presence. I think my little themed episode thingy was a little better than the other ones, but I guess in some ways it wasn't. I was looking at my phone and stuff, but I was getting information off of it. Today I'm gonna talk about first off like some books that I'm reading. The Katie Ledecky book. In the Katie Ledecky book today, it talked about how her grandpa Hagen was a survivor of World War II, and he won the Purple Heart and the Bronze Star, I believe, saving people's lives as a medic. And all her family went into like medicine, except she was one of the few that didn't. And she talks about a kind of a freak accident is what culminated in her becoming a swimmer. She didn't quite say that, but if you read into it, you can see that. And I guess when her aunt was a child, like 4 years old or something, she fell into the water and she nearly drowned. And her grandpa Hagen, who was the father of her aunt, uh, decided then and there that he was going to push for the local community in South Dakota to get an indoor swimming pool. And he was a pretty well known figure in the community because he was involved in medicine, so he had a good standing in the community, and he was able to get an indoor swimming pool pushed, and he ended up becoming a member of the park board in that town there in Williston, South Dakota, I think it is. And her mom ended up swimming and getting involved in competitive swimming when she was a kid because of this. And this resulted in Katie Ledecky eventually when they moved to when her she grew up in Bethesda, Maryland, getting involved in swimming. So I thought that was an interesting little, just like a freak thing in one generation results in something culminating in the most decorated Olympic swimmer in history. For women, I think, particularly. And so that's kind of interesting. In another book I'm reading, Michio Kaku talks about type 3 civilizations can have the ability to unify a diaspora or an imperial empire, galactic diaspora in the cosmos of type 2 civilizations. So, like, type 2 civilizations harness supposedly uh, light travel. So, I think they harness stars and they are able to engage in speed of light travel, and they go from place to place creating colonies and stuff. And the idea is that a type 3 civilization can have so much technology because they can now harness galaxy energy, which propels them in faster than light travel. And these type of civilizations can unify the diaspora. And he talks in there about how, like, even though in human society we've diverged genetically 10,000 years from each other, we're still so close together as human beings that even if you went out into the cosmos or in various areas 10,000 years of separation into the cosmos, we would still all retain our basic humanity to some degree. And so we would be like a diaspora of humans, and culturally, probably we'd have differences. And what I like about Michio Kaku is like he talks about cultural differences as enrichment in for humanity, and civilization is enriched by the cultural diversity it has. And so that's a good way to look at it, I think. uh Next thing I was going to talk about is John Travolta's Santa Clause commercial. I thought it was kind of funny to see him walking around as Saturday Night Fever as like the Santa Claus, and I thought to myself, well, maybe it would take an ego to do that, but I don't think you would have a lot of too much vanity. I'm sure he has some vanity because he's an actor and he's on camera all the time. And I just starting to know this, looking at myself all the time. I'm getting a little bit sick of looking at myself on camera and listening to myself. At first, it was like, oh, this is novelty. It's kind of interesting. But now it's like, okay, I'm looking at myself every day and listening to myself every day. And it's kind of annoying. So, uh, what was I gonna say is like I was thinking to I'm kind of becoming like a Santa Claus as I get older here. I'm almost 40, and I'm growing out a beard right now because I don't have razors in the house that are new, so I don't want to cut my face already, whatever. So I'm like kind of like a little Santa Claus, and I just I as you get older, you start caring so much about these vanity things, and I don't know. I always thought myself as vain, but as I get older, I'm like I'm a little bit less vain, but maybe I am still vain. And all right, on my fantasy team, so I've got my keepers for my fantasy team, and they are going to be Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Corbin Carroll, Luis Robert, Junior Caminero, Samuel Basalo, Hunter Green, Hunter Brown, Yuri Perez, who was injured last year, and Hunter Green and Hunter Brown both had good years as I think they're going to be pretty good pitchers in the league. And the last one was Michael King. And Michael King is a guy that I have in like the 24th round or something like that. So I have him kind of late in the draft. I picked him up. That was recommended to me by Tyler. And anyways, that worked out pretty well. Uh, Andrew Painter. Andrew Painter is a guy having like the 28th round or something. So it'll be like 25 this year. And Andrew Painter is like a top prospect, and he throws like 99 or something, and he's got good stuff. So I'm hoping he kind of fills in that Phillies lineup and that Phillies pitching staff, and with that lineup, maybe he could get some wins. And so hopefully they bring him up. So the guys I need to be brought up are Perez because he was injured. Hopefully he comes back. So it's a little bit of a shaky keeper set, but uh, I'm in 10th place, so I need to have kind of a drastic turnaround. So I kind of have to bet big. I don't think I could bet small with my team. I could potentially go with Michael Bush or Jorge Soler instead of Basalo, but I I don't want to do that. And I could potentially go with uh, Kodai Senga over Painter. But Kodai Senga was injured all last year, and I just don't trust the guy. So I'm going to go with probably Painter. So those are my 10 keepers. I really like my keepers this time around, and I think that's going to be a lot better. And so that's good. Uh, no news on weight loss front. Uh, I don't know. Maybe I can. Uh, yeah, no news on weight loss front. So I think I was 2.4 pounds down about a week ago. I went up because I ate a cookie or something like that, and I know what cookies are in Spanish. It's galletos, and I learned buenas buenas tardes and buenas noches and buenos dias. So I had forgotten the grammatical thing of the AS and the OS in those. So I'm learning a little bit of Spanish as we go along here. I know the difference between usted and tu. These are all things I kind of already knew, so I'm taking Spanish for a few years. So I gotta. I'm not quite into the Spanish on a daily basis like I will be come January, but I'm taking a few lessons at a time right now. And yeah. All right. So this was part 2 today. All right. That was a good one.